Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Gig. I'm your host, Mike Redman. I've been advised to ask you to subscribe, follow, and like this podcast so that I can reach as many artists as possible. But please take a second and do that. You'll be joining the ranks of the awesome people. The ratio of female composers to male composers is approximately 4-1. I'm not sure why that is, but if you listen to the music that they create, trailers, straight-ahead film scores, action, drama, you name it, the only difference is creativity and style, which is not gender-specific. And if a score requires great sensitivity, female composers, at least in my opinion, win hands down. At any rate, Elena Maro is an extraordinary composer, and her energy and dedication should be an inspiration to anybody considering this field of work and as a career as a music composer. Interestingly enough, she's married to Marco Antonini, another rising star composer on the Hollywood music scene. This was a delightful interview, and as always, there's some great takeaways. So let's take it away. Well, good morning, Elena. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, especially because I'm meeting with you, Mike. Thank you.
That's very sweet of you. First of all, let me thank you for starting your day a little bit early so we could catch you before you go to work. That's nice. It's still early there in LA.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to just go ahead and jump in as I kind of always do to keep these succinct and kind of running on time so we don't waste our listeners' time because they'll just bop out and won't even listen to us. So I'm going to start with a question. This is, I just ask this of most of everybody. So, what is it that you love about being a musician and that you like about being in the music business?
Oh, well, as I always say, it was my childhood dream to move to Los Angeles and work in film scoring. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's so exciting because every film is a different project, working with different people. So it is always a fantastic opportunity, exciting opportunity to push yourself, your knowledge, your boundaries. And both as a person and as an artist, you got to learn a lot every single time. And I think life is a learning journey, so it's quite exciting to be able to do that with music, of course.
It is my pleasure to find myself actually interviewing more and more female composers. When I was working and I was a composer, I don't think I knew one female composer. Lots of violinists, but but so this is awesome. You are married to another composer, Marco Antonini.
Yes.
Would you talk about being married to another musician? Maybe some of the pros and cons of having that kind of relationship.
Of course. I mean, I can find any cons, honestly. It's all about, like in every couple, it's about balance and respect and support. What really works for us is to keep what happens in the studios in the studios. So we still get to have family, quality time with friends, with our hobbies, recharging our batteries, refueling our creative juice, and that's it. It works really well. But this said, we are studio neighbors, and it's great to have 2 spare years to check things out, objective years, especially when, I don't know, you've been working on a mix for hours and you're like, I would like to have fresh ears listening to this. Sure. So it's nice to have it. And the first thing I noticed, it was wonderful when we started dating, is the deep understanding of the flexibility needed if you're freelancing. Like, I remember we were supposed to be having dinner at Thanksgiving, and he had to cancel because of a gig he had, and I was like, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Go on, do your things. And it was like, oh, this is great, because
Yeah.
empathy is one thing, but doing the same job, you really get a deep, deep understanding.
Yeah. I would think that that would be really true, that you know, there's a lot of demands of a composer or just a musician in general. We work strange hours. As composers, we are at the beck and call of the producers, directors, etc. Yeah, and so they may call us at some really weird time and say, "Look, I really need you to come in here. We want to redo this piece," and it might be right when you're going to the swimming pool with your kids, but you really
Yeah.
need to go. And in a lot of relationships, that wouldn't fly. There'd be problems with that. So that's cool. Do you and Marco have very, very different styles of writing. Do you find yourselves ever like, I don't want to say collaborating, but just say I wrote this piece for this cue for a film or whatever. What do you think? Do you guys do that at all?
Sometimes we do it, but as I said, it's really about setting boundaries. Like, part of the respect is knowing that we really have different styles and appreciating it. And we kind of did an experiment one time just for fun. Like, I'm trying to write a cue following your workflow, and I got stuck. And the other way round, because making music is such a personal and unique and, I would say, spiritual process
Sure.
that we all have our own, you know. And so it happens sometimes we collaborate, but that's, as I said, we mainly keep things separated because of the different styles and different goals. And I don't even know what his goals are, because I respect that. He doesn't know, what my goals are, also because in this industry, it's so quickly changing that we constantly need to adapt.
Yeah, that's interesting. Plus, I would probably add to that, and I say this a lot because it's true, as musicians, we have really fragile egos. And I guess when you're married to somebody and it's somebody that you're close to on a totally different level, that, the wrong thing could be said by somebody, but they never meant it. Look, I just wanted to say this. I mean, your music is some of my favorite music that I've listened to in a long, long time. And you remind me of one of my favorite composers ever, Aaron Copland. And I don't say that lightly. And not that I put it in here, not the dissonance, so much, but the calmness and beauty of his music. And I wanted to point out a piece that I love, Quiet City. It's very much like you're exposing your soul. I wanted to ask you, does it feel like that to you when you're able to express yourself that way?
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, I appreciate the comparison. I'm honored and humbled, but I do believe that we're not just physical body. We are, but even our physical body is vibration. Like every single cell of our body vibrates, and emotions are vibrations. So I really, really do believe that even hitting hard deadlines, even needing to stick to the director's vision, it's important for us to put ourselves in every single note we write down. I had a past as an actor, and I think this really helps me tuning in with the story and with the characters, and I start from those feelings, and I really, really feel them, and I project them into the music. I know this might sound crazy, and I hope it makes any sense, But I feel like this vibration can translate into the music, and through the music, they can touch all those who listen. And that's where the soul part comes in the job.
Thank you for that, because I hear it. So something a little more contemporary, and this is, it's the thing of the day, and so I ask everybody about this, but do you look at AI influencing your creative, or is it more of a tool, or is it like more your nemesis?
Well, I try to stay objective to this new tool. As I said, I like to consider it a tool, and I just come from a wonderful experience with a film where I hit one of my main goals when I moved here, and it was to have a fully live recorded score union in Los Angeles with session musicians. And for me it was kind of interesting also doing it during this AI revolution and discussions, and it makes me really, really strongly believe even more that there's nothing like people working with people, souls working with souls, and AI can repeat things, have many sources from the learning machines, but nothing can replicate brainstorming. Nothing can replicate sitting with a musician and saying, so I couldn't write this on a score, but I would love for you to try and talk into your saxophone like this or that, and then try this and that, and please let's do another take and feel free to go wild. And that's where the specialty, the uniqueness of a score with the film that's attached to comes in. And so I don't think AI would never replace.
And I totally agree with you. I think I hear all sorts of different answers to that question. That's one of the more articulate, creative answers. There's a lot of people that are using them for different tools. There is a consensus that very, very low budget films in a couple of years are going to tell AI how they want it to be, and it's going to spit out a score in 5 minutes, but it's still going to be a low budget film. But the big part of filmmaking, even in the mid budget and the top of the low budget, is how we shoot it, how we direct it, how we want the music conducted, and it's not something that a machine's going to spit out, at least maybe in my lifetime. Elena, you're a talented singer, you're a composer, you're an actor, a songwriter, a producer, among other things. How much of that is because musicians need to have money coming from different directions, or is it just you just kind of fell into this and love that, and fell into this and love that?
Well, actually, it's all coming together at this point of my life and music journey. I started as a jazz singer, and I fell in love with, but I was of course already in love with film music, and so I wanted to compose. So I started studying jazz composition. Now I realize how much it helped me with film scoring.
Right.
And then I felt like, okay, but I want to have a classical training. Because you need to know, there are rules to compose, and you're gonna break those rules while scoring a film. But if you don't know the rules, you'll have less tools in your hands. And so I went to conservatory studying piano and composition, and so it was all evolving. Back in Italy, I worked 20 years for theater productions. I worked I was an indie singer songwriter. I wrote lyrics and music for other artists back in Italy. And the moment I moved to Los Angeles, and with, of course, the goal to pivot into film scoring, I found really useful to have all this tool in my hands to, to score films, especially low budget productions. It happened a lot. Like they tempt the film with a very famous pop song. Of course, they're not going to license that pop song. And the moment you composer say, hey, I can do the song for you, I can sing the song for you, I can produce the song for you, you're on board.
That's funny.
So,
yeah.
It really helped me get some gigs too. I recently got, it wasn't planned. I worked on a very cute and great short as a first time New York director. And it was totally different kind of stuff. It was all electronic pop, urban things.
Yeah.
But, my background helped me. So, yeah, it's more, I think, about putting all those experience on the table when I work on a film.
Yeah. That obviously gives you more opportunities because you have a larger skill set.
Yeah, I think so. I got to work in different projects, different kind of projects, and so that's probably because of it. Yeah. And I was lucky because there's a lot of luck involved in everything. Always.
In a lot, yes. Tell me a little bit about Part-Time Mermaid.
Oh yeah, that came out. So it was during lockdown, and I was attending a seminar, a webinar, and one of the panelists was Rachel Portman, whom I deeply admire, of course. Yeah. And so I got the chance to exchange a couple of, words with her, and I was telling her how much I admire her ability to navigate the business with elegance and grace.
Yes.
And so I felt like I want to do that because, as you said, we, as women composers, we are still a minority, and I want to get the elephant in the room out right now. Yep. It's still not easy.
Yes.
And so we have to fight for basic stuff, but I'm an Aries. I love challenges. So I fight my battles and I enjoy the ride. But and I was like, and I love the ocean, and I know that our body is composed 90% and more of water, and water is a wonderful catalyst for energy. So I was like, okay, I feel I'm a full-time mermaid, and my singing voice is giving voice to these films. So it's kind of unmodest, but that's how I feel.
No, I think that's awesome. Along that same line, how important do you think it is for a composer to leave their egos at the door on a project?
Oh, that's one of the main skills to have. Because as an artist, you express yourself. If you're an indie artist, you do whatever you like with your music. When you're a composer, you are serving a project. So it's your job to, of course, put in your voice, your soul, as we talked before, but it's your duty to stick to the vision, to stick to the director's notes, And we're not mind readers as composers, so it happens all the time that you maybe get 90% things right, but there's always something you need to fine tune or change in your cues, revisions, and stuff. And you have to understand that this is not about you.
Very, very important.
It is about the music. And it's not only about the quality of the music you're writing.
Yes.
It's just about some details in the music not fitting 100% the director's vision.
Yep.
As simple as that. So there's no room for prima donnas, and there's also no room for people who have a low self-esteem. Because if you base your self-esteem on the feedback you get about your music, you're gonna die in this industry pretty soon.
That's one of the best answers I've heard, Elena.
Thank you.
No, that really is. That's great, because I've phrased this question in different ways, but I would tell you a story, but I've already told it too many times, about when something like that happened to me. And it wasn't so much a self-esteem. I was trying to be humble, but I was humble to the point that the person I was talking to said, "Look, come back when you're good," and so it is a fine line, but you said it very succinctly. We're all there in that business to serve the vision of the director.
Yeah.
Just some quick ones.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, you just kind of throw it out, whether it's actually true or it's that's okay. Your favorite film based solely on music?
I can tell you the film that made me fall in love with the film and film music, and it was Breakfast at Tiffany's with Henry Mancini's score.
Oh, okay. How about a hobby outside of the music business?
Gardening. It keeps me grounded, literally, and connected.
Do you like to grow for beauty or for food?
Both. I actually believe that it's really important to eat healthy, so I grow my own vegetables.
Oh, good for you. My wife and I are still trying to find a place up here for her to grow vegetables for us. Your go-to instrument for composing?
Yes, piano and pencil and paper. Sometimes you just need to see it to get it right.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Most of my friends are like that. Most challenging project that you've ever worked on?
Honestly, I can't remember one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Let me just change that. The most lovely project you've ever worked on?
I'm deeply in love with the latest project I worked on, which is Carriage Return. It's this black and white, gritty New York film set in the 50s, and I got to score it live with LA musicians, and it's jazz / avant-garde /
cool.
quirky things because the film is visionary and stuff, and I had so much fun, and it was, I think, one of the best collaborations I've ever had, because I was sitting, and this link is linked to the AI question you asked me before, because we sat in the studio, and when you're supposed to be recording live the score, you have director. I had the director and the producer here in my studio watching the movie with mock-ups. But the thing is, the score being avant-garde / weird / quirk, which I love, quirky, which I love, I couldn't do mock-ups for it.
Ah, gotcha.
So there was a lot of, okay, pause. So that's what's going to happen with the score once we record it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. There's a lot of trust.
There's a lot of trust, and there's a lot of working as a team, which I loved. Coming from theater, I had a lot of this, and And also, again, about the ego, when you work in a team and you co-write and you work together with the goal of a project, it's okay if someone says, what the heck are you talking about? No, don't even consider it. I mean, we're all there for a reason. And sometimes there's just no time to sweeten the pill, you know. But yeah, it was so much fun. It's rewarding. And there are big news coming up with the film. I can't share now officially, but both the production and I and all the people involved are truly excited. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for you. Congratulations. And you better share that with me later when you're allowed to.
Yeah, of course.
I just have two more things. And one of them is, you said you didn't, you don't even know what Marco's goals are. So maybe he will know when we're done here. What would you say, broadly, are your 3 to 5 year goals?
Keep doing what I'm doing. The first goal for me is to be able to, despite all the odds, the ups and downs, the crazy deadlines, the difficult clients, because we're all people and we're different.
Sure.
My first goal is to keep sitting at my piano in my studio every morning with the same enthusiasm I had the moment I decided to move here. And I think that if I keep going, I keep doing this way, everything will fall into places. This said, I didn't get here just to get here.
Right.
So, of course, I have big dreams, and I wouldn't mind an Oscar at one point, but I know that it might happen, it might not happen, and that's part of the excitement of the journey. So, yeah, I think the goal is the spirit, the feelings I have every day, and never lose them.
Right. Those are good goals. I like that you said it may or may not happen. I'm a big believer that if you work hard enough, you'll get lucky. So I think that you're well on your way. I have one last question that I pretty much ask everybody, and it's really about advice for the listeners. If I was watching this and you kind of tweaked this interest in me, and I thought, I really am going to go down this path. I'm going to go hard at it. And I may not be in LA or whatever. What advice would you have for somebody that wants to be a composer today, and how they might get started?
Well, first of all, I would say it's a hard field to be working. So you really need to love what you're doing.
Right.
And the thing I usually say, it's good to have dreams, but sorry about it, but it's important to have goals and to set goals too. So be honest with yourself and make plans. Short time, short time, long time, but make plans in details, because you don't want to get burned. And the second thing is take care of yourself. Because as much as we want to get there, if we don't take care of ourselves, we are going to get burned out at one point.
Right.
Creativity is not an endless source. It needs to be cherished and taken care of. And we do that, taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the other main things. And the third thing is, don't be afraid of failure, because failure simply doesn't exist. As long as you keep on doing, it might or it might not, but it might happen. The moment you give up, then there's failure.
Elena, thank you so much for spending a little time with me. Marco, as my wife would say, I'm a lucky guy. Marco is a lucky guy.
Oh, thank you so much.
Please give him my best, and I'll be in touch with you soon. And this was a really informative episode, and I just want to thank you again. And I'm looking forward to some more of your music.
Thank you so much, Mike. It was a pleasure and an honor to spend this time with you. Thank you so much.
You
again.
take care. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.